Fans. His 1973 album, Berlin, based on an American woman trapped in an abusive relationship with a German amphetamine dealer, became a cult hit. More than 30 years after its release, Lou Reed sang it live on stage for the first time in December last year in New York. Now, do it again, this time in the Emerald City as part of the Sydney Festival. The performance, a multimedia extravaganza, is a sellout, with critics hailing it as a masterwork. Tracy Hutchinson caught up with the man of angst in his Sydney hotel late today, just a few hours before his first curtain call.
And I said,
It's taken over 30 years to stage the Berlin album. Has it been worth the wait for you?
I had always hoped we would have an opportunity to do exactly what we're going to be doing tonight. I just never thought it would really happen. But then it did, in New York and Sydney of all places.
Is there a particular reason that you chose Sydney?
The Sydney Festival helped back our original production, for which I will love them forever. And that's why we're so happy to be here.
Are there other reasons though? I mean, is performing in Australia something that you like doing? You do it a lot. You were here recently.
I would do it a lot more if it didn't take 20 hours to get here.
Right.
But I like it because I'm downtown in New York near the river, so being on the water here appeals to me very, very much, and it's a real city. It reminds me of home.
You mentioned that you always wanted to do this with this record, Berlin, but you didn't think it would ever be possible to stage it this way, to perform it in its entirety. Why did you think it would never happen?
Bob Ezrin, the original producer, and I had always had a little dream of taking this and putting it on the stage. At a certain point, Andy Warhol and I had talked about it. Various people have talked about it over the years, but the original reception was so amazingly negative that we never had a chance to even begin to try to implement the ideas. And this is the room where she took the razor and cut her wrist, a strange and fateful night. And I said,
Berlin is an exploration, though, of the darker shades of life, and in many ways is a commentary.
What do you think about Othello?
The same thing. I mean, I think...
Duh.
Yeah, precisely.
Gee, what do you think? Othello gets jealous, huh?
Yeah.
Do you think real people in real life get jealous? Yeah, so that's what it's about.
It's interesting, though. Say, like a song like Man of Good Fortune, for example. If someone presented that to me and said, this is the new Lou Reed single, I would think, oh, well, this is a commentary on modern America. And it's an interesting thing to kind of observe that 30 years ago it seemed so bold and so dark and people didn't want to know. But in fact, as a narrative and observation of modern life, it's what life is. And
I love you. I love you, Tracy. Thank you.
But it's true. Life is not all about sugar-coated lollies. Life is often very hard to take for a lot of people. So,
show me a man that's never been jealous.
Or a woman.
Well, there you have it.
Pedro lives out of the Wilshire Hotel. He looks out a window without glass. The walls are made of cardboard, Newspapers on his feet and his father beats him because he's too tired to beg.
Songwriting and writing of any kind is a fairly lonely craft. You spend a lot of time in your head with that sort of occupation. Is that one of the things that attracts you most to it?
Well, there's no choice with this, you know. I've never been successful at group writing. I mean, I've collaborated on occasion, but it's usually the other person's doing the music or something. You start collaborating with someone where you're sharing the lyrics, someone might kill the other person. Having said that, I'm easy. Easy to collaborate with.
Do you think so?
Yeah, because I really love working with other people who I really like, but generally speaking, they write alone also.
Do you see a time when you don't want to be doing this anymore?
One of the things we wanted to do somewhere in New York City was open a Tai Chi school where you also had meditation, and we're friends with some people who are fairly well known in what they do, like Mingyur Rinpoche, who has a book coming out called The Joy of Living. I study with him, and certain herbalists, and we thought it would be so great to have this all centered in one place.
Keep so big, very careful when you speak. Don't talk to me about, please don't talk to me about work.